Hey guys, it's April again. I hope you're having the most beautiful and blessed day. I'm on here to just continue to share a little bit more about my testimony with my vehicle, my car. And so, I never said how I ended up getting the funding to even receive, to purchase another vehicle. But I'll just say this. I went to visit a church. And, honestly, when the Spirit tells you something and you know better, and you just like, but Lord, I want to go and just in the environment of praise and worship. I want to go and receive a word. And that day, like, I felt it in my spirit. It was like, stay home. Don't go out. Stay home. Stay home, stay home, stay home. But I said, no, it's Sunday. I want to go to church. So what I did was I got ready and I went out to church. And as I was in a different city. And so as I'm in a different city, I was looking, for different church homes to visit, trying to see, what would be the best fit for me. And so I was visiting and I went to this particular church and their location was off of a highway. And as I tried to pull into their parking lot off of the highway, they had like the gates closed. And so for me to go, I would have to go back onto the highway in this city that has a tonnage of traffic. And that would just, send me back. It just would just cause me to be like, no, forget it. I'm going back home. And so I said, okay, there's no traffic. Nobody was behind me off of the little ramp. And so I said, let me try to reverse to get into the next entry instead of going back onto the highway, which was probably not the best decision. But I said, well, let me save me some time. Nobody was behind me, so I said, let me reverse. And as I was reversing, I hit the back of my vehicle onto one of the side rails, the ramps, the dividers, the concrete dividers. And when I hit the side of the back of the vehicle on the concrete, it never beeped, when you are approaching something from the back of the vehicle, it'll beep to kind of warn you that you come in. My car had that, but it never beeped. The sensor never went off. And I hit the back. And I was like, I never hit this car in my life. I never hit this vehicle. I had that vehicle for years, and I never hit the vehicle. And I hit this vehicle trying to get into church. I felt so bad, man. I'm telling you, I felt so disappointed. Like, I was hurt. I was hurt because I said, here it is now. This whole time I had this vehicle, and I had no problem with this vehicle. Now I come to try to go into church, and I said, anyway. So I just go in, I get in, and I park my car, and I go into the service, and I go in there, and my whole atmosphere, my whole countenance is off because of what just happened. And so I'm in there, and I'm like, okay, maybe I'll receive a really good word because something. But I go in there, and the preacher, he's talking politics because it was like around election time, and I was like, I ain't coming here and just damage my vehicle to listen to him talk about politics. Man, I was in there trying to fight the tears. I was inside that service just waiting for it to end, trying to fight the tears. And listen, when I got back into the parking lot and I jumped into the car, I took photos of the damage and all of that kind of stuff. I was like crying. I couldn't even hold the tears back no more. I was crying because I was having a whole conversation with God. I was like, Lord, why would I come out to this church to go damage my vehicle? The whole time I had this car for years, never had no problems, and I'm going to damage my vehicle coming trying to get into a parking lot of a church where, your presence is supposed to be where you are supposed to be in the community of the church. where I'm supposed to be receiving from you. And now I'm all off. And I was just crying out to God. And I'm crying. And I didn't even care who see me in the car, but I just couldn't hold it back no more. I was crying and just praying to God. And I was like, this, and I could feel like the car, whatever damage happened to it, it was, the undercarriage and all of that. And I was like, oh my goodness, this just, I knew what that meant. And I had no funds to go and try to fix it. And I'm like, I got to go put in a claim now with insurance. And now I need to pay the deductible. And the deductible is going to be $500. I don't have this $500 to pay this deductible. And I'm like, Lord, how is this going to work for me? Like, I need to drive this car. Now this car's not even driving right. I got these kids. We need to safely be able to move around. What's going to happen now? And it was just, oh my goodness, a bad situation. I call the insurance people and they're telling me, yeah, you're going to need to come up with a deductible, And I'm like, I don't have money for the deductible. I'm praying to God. And anyway, I tried to I did contact another organization that repairs, vehicles, try to help people who need help, like how I was in a situation where I needed help. And they actually took my case on and they tried to help me, but they ran out of funding, so they couldn't help me. And they gave me this news, they couldn't help me, they ran out of funding. I was like, oh my goodness, that didn't help me. I don't know, but I understood. And so I was like, anyway, Lord Jesus, what do I do? What do I do? What do I do? And so I had to put in a claim. So I put in the claim. I was like, Lord, I don't know how I'm going to come with this $500. I don't know. I put in the claim for the car, and as I'm putting in the claim, they put in the investigation. In the investigation, they come back and say, oh, this damage is no way you need to you're going to need to come up with the receipts from when you last changed the tires and all this kind of stuff. And it didn't sound like they wanted to repair the car. Didn't sound like the insurance was going to repair the car at all. And I was like, anyway, let me give them I gave them the receipts. I gave them everything that I had. And I guess, I'm just waiting because the last set of people who I spoke to from the insurance and from the persons who had, looked at the car, the body shop, didn't sound like they wanted to cover it, And so I received another call like a few days later, and it's the insurance. And the lady on the phone, she's so polite and she's so nice, and she's telling me, in a nutshell, what we're going to do is we're going to just pay you out for the car because we deeming it, we're not going to repair it. We're just going to pay you out for the car because it's not, what they call it, a write-off. They said it's a write-off. And I wasn't expecting that. I honestly wasn't expecting them to call it a write-off because I was like, just 2 seconds ago, y'all was telling me y'all didn't want to fix it, because of whatever. And now y'all telling me you're going to pay me out. And you're considering it a write-off. And so I was like, okay, Lord, I understand. So let me, just to bring this back so you kind of get an idea of what's going on. I was debating putting in the claim because I didn't have $500 to pay for the deductible. I didn't have $500 to pay for the deductible. So I'm trying in my own strength to find other ways to get around having to pay this $500 for this deductible because I just didn't have it. But I prayed on it, and I said, okay, Lord. And he's like, put in the claim. And I said, okay, let me put in the claim. And that's what I did. And it was looking sideways. It really was looking sideways. I was like, no, I'm putting this claim now. These people come with some foolishness. But when they called me back and they said, we're going to just pay you off because we're considering it a write-off. They was like, so you won't have to pay the deductible. We'll pay you what the worth is on the car. And they said, actually, we're going to pay you a little bit extra because the car is only worth this amount. But we're going to pay you this amount extra. So I was like, My feelings, honestly, my emotion on it was that I still it was happy because I didn't have to pay the deductible, but I was at the same time sad because I was losing my car. And at that point, I had already lost so much. I had lost a lot. And I felt like my car was just going to be another thing to lose. So I'm like crying again. You see this face? You see these eyes? I drink a lot of water because I need to hydrate. Because I cry a lot. I am a weeping warrior for Jesus. I cry a lot. I see people on the street, I cry for them. I cry a lot. I do a lot of crying. I ain't gonna lie. I cry a lot. But crying is also a weapon, When I cry unto God, He is here. He hears my prayers when I cry unto Him. And so my tears they're a weapon, they're a tool. They're instruments for Him. But yeah, so that's how I was able to get the funding for my vehicle. That's how I was able to get the funding for the new car. I just say all of that to say this. A lot of the times we're expecting things in a certain package and it doesn't come in the package that we're expecting it. Way before all of that, in previous videos, I say where I walked past my car and I didn't recognize my own vehicle. I just walking past it. It's because my spirit didn't recognize with it. Anyway, I wasn't surprised because when they took my car, when the tow truck took it, because it wasn't in a condition to be driven. When the tow truck took it, I heard the Spirit of God say, that's the last time you drove that car. That was the last time you drove that car. He said, clear everything out of the vehicle because you'll never see the vehicle again. And honestly, that was before they even called me about, the tires or anything. That was them just taking it to the body shop to do an assessment on it. I heard God say, that's the last time you're going to see. And I knew, but I wasn't expecting, when you hear something, but then at the same time, it ain't registering to you the magnitude of what is being said to you. In that moment, I heard, that's the last time you're going to be seeing that car. Take everything. He told me to take everything out of it. And that's what I did. I was obedient. I took everything out of the car. But I was thinking, okay, it's going to the body shop and they're going to repair it or whatever, because it's not that much. It was damaged, but I didn't think it was that significant to consider it as a write-off, And so when they came back and they told me it was a write-off, I was like, but I had already taken everything out of the car anyway, so. I'm telling you, ask God for sensitive ears to hear Him, to see Him, because He'll tell you stuff. He'll kind of prompt you in your spirit. He'll straight up tell you. But just try to receive it. In my mind, I was like, okay, I need to try to get a new car. I was trying to get raffle tickets, and I heard Kia too, I heard Kia. So I kind of knew what type of car I was going to get, but in my mind, I saw Kia, and I saw they had different raffles and stuff. And so I was resourceful. I was able to get raffle tickets without having to pay for the raffle tickets, and I was thinking, I'm going to win a Kia. I'm going to win a brand new car. I did not get a brand new Kia. I was able to get a used Kia, but it was a Kia. It's in pretty good condition. And God did it. God did it. God did it. Anyway, you guys, this video has gone way longer than what I expected it to be. But I just had to share that testimony to kind of give somebody some hope to know that sometimes things come packaged differently. I was expecting a brand new car to win it. I didn't win a brand new car. But God provided me with exactly what I needed. And He provided me exceedingly above and beyond my expectation when it came to a used car for my budget. You guys check out the other video that I have posted, on how I got my new used car. Anyway, you guys, God is amazing. He's faithful. He'll do it. He'll make an impossible situation work itself right out. And you look at it and you see his hand all in and through it. You're like, it was you all along, Lord. You was prompting me for months before anything happened. Months before I had the car, before I had the accident. Months before all of it, you was telling me this. Months before, you told me Kia. I was expecting a new Kia. I wasn't expecting a used Kia. But you told me Kia. And when you're a child of God, he speaks to you. He said, my sheep know my voice. And it's true. We know his voice. So you guys just be obedient. Just do as he say. And let go and let him do what he do. He knows he has a plan. It's unfolding. He already know what it is. You guys have a beautiful and most blessed day. Blessings. Bye.